Hey, Sada,
Oi?
let me ask you a question. You think men just adapt easily to household chores? Why?
I want to show you how to cut bend.
How to cut bend?
Yes. I have mastered the art of cutting bend.
Uh,
And at first I was using straight edge to help me cut, right?
right.
But then I realized that I needed that piece of wood. So I cut the straight edge last night. But I forgot that I have some more cuts. So I
Okay.
put myself in a position where I forced. The saw has something called a zero guide, which I never saw about. I heard about it last night. So I'll be using that. The idea is that this should be as straight as possible when I finish.
Okay.
Now don't judge me. Oh no, I'm supposed to be cutting from the next side. See? So your first step is to position your wood in a way that they will be able to cut it. The guy showed me, he said put your plate on the secure piece, right? Make sure your table not kissing anything. You know, 2 days ago, or 3 days ago, is the first time that I used a circular saw in my life, really.
Really good, boy.
Yeah.
Well, I want to tell you, Lindy, it's strange, that I appreciate the kind of work you're doing, these cupboards, this workbench, this cut you're making, because I'll tell you what, in my day living in Cora, we didn't have electricity, so there was no possibility of using this kind of tool. It was just a handsaw, hammer and nails, right? So as a young fella, I really was not given to building anything. The old man might have thrown up something with hammer and nail, you hold a piece of wood for him, you straighten it out and that kind of
Right.
stuff. But never this kind of detail work that you're doing. So I want to tell you, as your daddy, I'm real proud of you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You know?
I wouldn't say that I'm sorry that you weren't into it, but I see how we could. No, but you were in your different ways into different things. You had your truck and you could do mechanicals and whatever. Mario, who is inside there, he was joking the other day and say that you're having a midlife crisis, but a weird midlife crisis because you're building things. And I laugh when he said it because I think it's true. One night I realized to myself, I said, but wait now, but you don't really know how to knock up something, boy. You know, to put on a ledge at 42 years old, you don't really have that talent. So I say, when I think I was telling Asana maybe in another video, that I realized it's something that could be beneficial to the home in terms of all the skills that you could learn. If I had to choose a skill that I would really like to learn is masonry. I find somebody who could put down blocks and build up a room is a real noble talent to have. But when I weighed everything in terms of the different things that I could learn, I thought woodworking is the thing that would be most economically beneficial to us. So that's why I focus on the woodwork. And so far, we have produced this workbench. We produced that second workbench, which is up against the wall. The beauty is that they complement each other. So if I have a long sheet of ply, I can balance it between these two tables here. They're more or less the same height. They came out alright. And I am also working on these frameless cabinets here, which will go up against this wall. 2 of them above. And it's shallow enough. Mario suggested that I leave this area kind of free, so I will have space to also work. I'll put something like a peg board there. They call it like a perforated piece of ply, so you can put tools along it. Going back to that point, I think it's really handy if somebody develop woodworking skills in terms of what you could do for your home and how you begin to see certain things. And I realize in a short space of time, if Mario talking about something now, I will grasp it a little bit faster than if I had no knowledge of it. Yeah.
Great, man, great.
I hope that's helpful.
That has been very helpful, yeah. But, excuse me, yesterday we went to see Victor Sutton.
Uh-huh.
And Victor Sutton had been a manager at Marley in Arriba, right? And he also worked a lot in Santa Grande. But his skill was as a Chinese cook, or cooking Chinese food, you know. So at 103 now, what does Victor look back on? He looked back on the years of, you know, of having worked as a man who could cook Chinese food, who could do preservatives in different ways. Yeah? So I guess we all have something in the past that we mastered. Owen, for instance, was a brilliant journalist. I don't know that Owen could use a hammer and nail ever in his life. But there's always something that we could do. But I take your advice, eh? Your counsel about doing woodwork. You planning to do this on a commercial basis at some time?
No. No, I'm not planning to do it on a commercial basis. But I hope that there are things that are around the house that I will be able to contribute to. It might be a shoe rack, it might be some cupboards.
That's good, boy. That's a good adventure you want to do now, eh?
Yeah, and especially in terms of affordability. You think about somebody having, like when we see somebody who paid rent, or somebody who have a home, you bring in a guy to build some cupboards for you. You know, you may not be able to afford the cupboards that you want in this year. Maybe 20. I was talking to a guy the other day. He said, I waited 35 years to build the kitchen that I really wanted.
Wow.
35 years, you know, teak and it. He said it cost him $100,000 plus dollars. But the idea is that, hey, you might be able to, at a point where you can't afford $3,000 or $5,000 or $10,000, you might be able to put together something that's useful around your home.
Material costly?
I will have to check the bills.
Yeah.
But a sheet, okay, these two cabinets here, I got two 30-inch cabinets from 1 sheet of 3/4 inch construction ply. And that cost $215. So that bit of ply, they're not counting the auxiliary items, that's the right word? Like screws and whatnot. But $215 give you two cabinets.
They're not termite treated, are they?
Well, I got this solution as well that I could
Right.
termite treat it as well.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
All right, my friend, I leave you to your day's work.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Let me hear the engine rumble now.
The most bend line in the world.
That's okay, man. And I'll stop it at that point. Sada, you know, I was talking to Lyndon recently, and I was telling him, we were in his garage,
Right.
and I was telling him that, you know, in my day, we didn't have electricity in Cora, so I was at a disadvantage in not being able to really do things that he would have been doing today, right? Because in those days, you know, it was that kind of, I wouldn't say backward, but we were not modernized, okay? Until the old man was able to bring a Delco, and we got lights. And then the lights came to Cora in after the 50th anniversary, I believe it to be, mother and father, right? But everybody has their own specialty,
Right.
okay? Owen was no cook.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah, Owen was no cook. Okay? And Claudia was no great writer. She could sing.
Right.
But everybody has a specialty. And Lyndon has been able to do this woodwork. You yourself, when you got married and moved to Cora, you remember the year that electricity came to Cora?
Have it written on the wall.
On the wall, okay, fine.
Yeah.
And hope the wall has been painted.
I think it's 1968.
1968.
I believe so.
68?
No. Sorry.
No.
No, probably 1948.
What?
The current came there.
1948, Sana? No, man. I was born in 1949. That's okay.
Well, the 1958 must be correct.
58?
Oh gosh, the bat's off this morning, yeah.
The mat's really off this
Yeah,
morning.
we gotta go and verify
I hope you cooking it off, right?
Yeah, nah, the cooking spot on. Yeah.
Yeah, I see some wonderful things shaping up here. But the thing about it is that everybody or everyone has a specialty. Now, you did woodwork. I heard you in conversation with Lyndon giving advice, and I said it's wonderful that Lyndon could resort to your counsel, right?
Right.
Good. Lyndon is no cook. Okay? He has a specialty in other areas.
Yeah. Which I just rely on him for.
Right.
Because I know my specialty.
Precisely.
Right.
Okay? So that conversation with Lyndon was good. Internalizing it for myself, right? I can't feel bad that I can't cook. I can't feel bad that I can't do plumbing. I can't do woodwork. And therefore, but I have a specialty. What will my specialty be? Okay? Maybe in harmonious living. Okay? I could strive for that.
Right.
Good? And your specialty, as I say, is you leaps and bounds ahead with your cooking.
Right.
And your ability now even to do, your editing of your videos. And you help me out a lot. So one must not feel embarrassed about not being able to do certain things. But be the best in what you're doing.
Yes.
Okay? Be the best in what you're doing. You're not selfish with the things that you have acquired over life. And that is very important for harmonious living too. But I wonder in your time when you were in Cora there, you think men really adapt easily to the kitchen? As a cook, as a person who likes cooking. I remember you coming home 2 o'clock in the morning from hotel school, and you would easily bubble up a pot.
Right. Good.
So is it that men, I don't know if fellas go to the river these days, and they go and they cook by the river. Is it in man really to be competent in cooking? Lots of videos turn out with men who do cooking internationally, right? So you were never afraid to venture into new areas of cooking?
Not particularly.
Okay.
But there are some areas that I would tend to stay out of.
Stay out of?
Yeah.
Okay. But given the opportunity, you will explore it.
Yes, certainly.
I think one of the problems that I might have is a fear to launch into something. I for instance, I'm hesitant to do things. I'm comfortable doing what I could do.
Right.
But I don't branch off. And I see a lot of young people these days, they're pretty adept at, hey, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that. Like how you will try your cooking. The empanadas you made yesterday were
yes.
good. What gives you the drive to do it?
Well, let me start by answering this in this manner, right? There's some things that people love to do. Like the example you give about the river. It will always tend to have 1 or 2 fellas who love to do the cooking. So it'll always have the men who now will take up the slack and go and get the firewood and tend to the fire and that kind of thing, but it have a man who love to cook, doing the cooking. In terms of adaptation, now we talking about survival. Like, for example, if a man chooses to live on his own, you have to learn to cook, right? You need to come off. Yeah, you need to be able to learn to cook, right? So that there now is a matter of, hey, I need to survive. I need to try my hand. So he may not turn out to be the best cook, but he will be able to cook. Because if you're living in some kind of remote place, part of it is eating, right? So you might fight up with frying an egg, boiling an egg, right? You gotta learn to cut up meat, to cook vegetables, you know? So, but the good thing about it now is that YouTube have videos showing all kind of things, even like the cooking videos from the local let me say a man launch out by himself here in Trinidad. He in a real good place if it is here internet access, because so many videos about simple cooking, you know. So a man could adapt. You have no choice, you know. You really have no choice. If, for example, if let me say is COVID time and a pipe happened to back out, an elbow back out from a pipe, and you have some glue, you're going and try to stick it, right? You're going to try to stick it, and you use your common sense. Hey, well, water coming out today. Well, you need to find some kind of lock off, right? And lock it off, and you might stick it. It mightn't stick good. It might pop back out next 3 days. But the thing about it is that it had a necessity. Is that the necessities that will drive a man to try his hand in something.
I don't know, old proverb that says necessity is the mother of invention.
Right. You know, so you may not be a carpenter, but let me see, as I see, COVID is a good example where people were confined to their homes. You wouldn't get a carpenter being able to come here. But let me say it happened to have a hurricane warning at that point in time. And you have some pieces of ply outside. Now I might be able to board it up and screw it up onto the wall. You might have to lean up the ply against the wall, find some concrete nails, but you try your hand. You know, you try your hand. So and then, you know, from there you might become curious. So it's always a good thing to try your hand in something new, because it might pique your curiosity. So, like how Lyndon he started out by building his table, right? But he have a vision that, hey, you know, maybe if I mix my hands up in this a bit, it could become infectious. You know?
Yes.
So it's the same thing, you know. You might decide, hey, let me try to cook something here today, and you cook it, and you give people a taste, and you get some compliments, and you know, as you get validation from others, you know, it encourages you and it build up your confidence,
right?
You know, and it might inspire you someday later on in the week, hey, I'm going to try my hand again, you know. So it's to dabble a little bit, to indulge.
You're right. Right. I think, you know, one of the things that I have to break is the fear of failure.
Right.
You know?
And that's the thing about it. You know, there are lessons to get out of failure. It have lessons. You know? So
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks again, my friend. That was good.
What I would like you to do is one day I would like you to come and double your hands in the kitchen here. Right? I will be side by side with you.
Not twiddle my thumbs.
Not twiddle your thumb. Right? We go in and prepare a meal together, and I will be right there guiding you.
Right.
Yes. Watch this bhaigan looking smooth and nice.
Yeah. Well, fella, thanks very much.
Yes, man. Daddy.
Appreciate the company.
All right.
Appreciate the comments.
Yeah, man.
Thanks again.
All right. Cool, man.
Hey, Sada,
Boy.
let me ask you a question.
Eh.
You think men just adapt easily to household chores? Why? Eh?
Good question. Like, for example, if a man, right? If a man loves Sada roti and he want to live on his own, can I try and make Sada roti? You know how much years I tried to make Sada roti? Yeah.
When you came home one day from NP,
Mm.
years ago, and decided to make bakes, it was bakes you was making,
Yeah, I fry bakes.
fry bakes,
Yeah.
and you had a good workout, right?
What?
Your muscles look, your biceps look
yeah.
good.
Yeah. You just have to keep trying, boy. Everything in this life, you keep trying. And we'll never be perfect. We will never be perfect. You know?
But it's a launch out beyond fear.
Yeah. You ain't gonna be the first person I feel it.
You're right.
You would not be the first person that feel it. You know, it have plenty women that be trying to make the Sada roti and they ain't getting through. But they're trying. You know, so
But you were never afraid of failure.
no. No.
Nothing?
Because I love the challenge of going back again. Yes. I love the challenge of going back. You know? Like I making this Sada roti here and sometimes this Sada roti mightn't swell, but the one that I did yesterday swell. You know? So
Okay.
yeah. I'm not afraid of failure, man.
What about parents who don't give their children the opportunity to try?
Well, that is a real big thing. You know?
Or do encourage them to try?
Yeah, because they're frightened. Well, it might have different reasons. It might be because, hey, it could be something dangerous, which is a good thing on our parent part, right? That, hey, you know, this could have some danger in it. You know? But I will tell you one thing though. It's good when you're teaching people, don't put your hands too much. Don't put your hands too much into it.
Let them
Yes.
venture on their own.
Yes. Right? Because it kind of like you're taking away the joy.
Yes.
You're taking away the joy, you know? And most of the times people doing that is because they want to show off their skills. You know? And that could be real frustrating for the person that trying to gain experience, you know? Yeah. So don't get your hands too much in people projects when, like how Linda doing that woodwork up there, right? I already know how to do it. Nothing wrong with giving like a little demonstration, but to get too highly involved, you know, because you want the praise by the time you finish. You want the praise. Is what is encourage a human being, you know? So yeah. At least that's how I see it.
You know, I remember as you're talking here, I remember when at the Express, Owen wanted me to learn how to lay out.
Right.
And it wasn't long after sub-editing that he called me and he said, okay, you start laying out pages. And I went confidently at it.
Right.
And when I went to work at People's Magazine, he said, okay, today you had to lay out this magazine. It had to do with Derek Walcott's The Joker of Seville. I was a major part of it.
Right.
And I blundered wrong. I really made some blunders. When I look back now at the layout and thing, I had a basic idea of layout.
Yeah.
I had a basic idea of how to crop pictures. I had a basic idea of how to estimate copy, right?
Yeah.
But it was a challenge.
Right.
Like I was saying, everybody has a specialty,
Yes. Yes.
But I had to launch out. I had to conquer fear. And I remember him saying one thing, he said, when you go down in the back to stone sap, that is, if you get the material too long, you need to chop it up. You need to cut and make it fit within the allotted space,
Yeah.
right? He said, you have to show the pace of men that you know what you're doing.
Right.
You have to build that confidence,
Yeah.
know what you're doing, right? And I suppose that's one of the areas that I really got a challenge in.
Right.
But I was glad for it. As you say, he let me do it.
Yes.
You
Ooh,
understand?
get a nice swelling.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, the thing about it is a teacher supposed to teach somebody techniques, right? But a teacher must never want to make his student into him.
Uh-huh.
You know? Ooh, look thing.
Look that thing, boy.
Look thing
Wow,
here,
wow,
guys.
wow.
Right? Yeah, we got a nice swell
That's
on
great.
this one here. Yeah. So you must never try to make another person into you.
Mm-hmm.
Never. You know? That's selfish, because everybody have potential and we share ideas. We share techniques, but everybody must develop. And I'm talking about as on a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Like your values and your beliefs, your own set of skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it had no blueprint, It had no blueprint as to this is the way and it had to be like this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? A man might find another easier way to do it.
That's right.
Or, he might be handicapped in a particular way in terms of holding the knife to make certain cuts. And he might develop a new styling. And you watch the man saying, hey, you're doing that wrong. The only time you're really supposed to stop somebody is when you see they head into potential danger. That's the only thing.
Or error.
I will leave a man to make an error sometimes if it's not costly. If it's not a costly error, right? You're watching a man and you have plenty pain, but something? I've been telling him for the longest while, let the paint dry properly before you sand it. If you're working on a small project and it has some extra paint, or if you're running a workshop, tell him, hey boy, we gotta take out something from your salary for the paint. But it has stubborn people too. It has stubborn people too. So sometimes you have to let a man make an error and let him see it for himself and reflect on it. And a part of that is go hand in hand with that, is that you feel stupid at the end of the day. You feel stupid at the end of the day, and sometimes we gotta feel stupid. Sometimes we gotta feel stupid and realize that should I really listen, boy? So yeah. Adaptation.
And next thing that has been on my mind these past days is this competitive spirit that people have. Okay, I'll tell you what I mean by that.
Yeah.
There was a time when I was newly learning the work, right?
Yeah.
At the Express. A man whom I admired for his skill and whatnot,
Yeah.
he said to me, observing my little progress in whatever small way,
Right.
he said, you are a threat to my security, boy.
Oh shucks.
And I was flabbergasted
Yeah.
because I was quite a junior.
Right.
Why would a person who is seasoned journalist tell me, a strict amateur? Huh?
That's sad.
It was
real sad.
it was sad, right?
That's real sad. But
No.
it's the reality
No,
of the world, eh?
that brings me now to the subject of
Yeah.
the subject of selfishness.
Right.
Okay, and I'll tell you what I mean. We put up a bird feeder,
Uh-huh.
and the bird feeder could accommodate at least 8 hummingbirds. They love it. But there's one bird in particular, one hummingbird in particular,
Yeah.
that governs the entire bird feeder,
Nobody else can come there.
right? And yesterday there was a big standoff,
Uh-huh.
right? Why is the world so competitive, so, you're hugging everything? Huh?
And that's among the most loved creatures, eh? And you see that behavior, hummingbirds.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah.
I think I want to really capture at some point that.
You want to capture that hummingbird?
Yeah.
Getting on bad.
Bad.
Yeah, man.
All right, I'll get Mama Lou
Yeah,
up.
boy, we go and machine some breakfast here, man.
Okay. Hey, Sada,
Boy.
let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
You think men adapt easily to household chores? Why? Eh?
Good question. Daddy cook this.
I figure so.
Yeah.
Because you know you want to film it.
Yeah, boy.
So let me see if I
Let
can
me
put-
see if the roti opening.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah, man.
I want to spoil the thing by just dipping
Yeah,
in.
but me take the roti from the outside.
Lancy, if you cook this,
Let me take out some of it then.
Thank you, sir.
if you cook this food,
Yes, I'm going to conquer the challenges in the future and do my cooking. But I want to see your mama cook that dal puri.
we have enough stuff to make that
Yeah.
really fun.
Got some laundry pepper sauce. It.
Of course.
Hot like fire. Let me pour it on this side. Eh?
Well, thank you, fellas. eh? No pepper
Yeah,
for
man.
me, please.
That's all. Let me see how mama go react to this pepper sauce, boy. Let me see if she can handle it.
Fire.
This hotter than scorpion pepper.
Now, you say,
Or it make with scorpion pepper.
no, it make with the Scotch bonnet, but
What
he
you
say,
put- you put
he say,
something.
he say, nah, it really, he got a nice hot batch.
That's Trini Yoka. Big up to Trini Yoka.
I say it had to be a Trini make this pepper sauce. I
Yeah.
know what making in America.